What is up? All right, so today we have a BMW 3 Series. We are going to be blacking it out. We're going to be doing limo on all the sides and the back. We are going dark on this one, and it is looking super clean. So, how are y'all doing today? My head, I knew it. I knew it. I'm going to get my ears in so I can hear you guys. I don't even have my chat window open. Wow. There we go. Should be much better. How y'all doing? Woo! Manny, Invasion, Brian, Jokey, Sean. Hey, I struggle with back windows. Help me out today. All right, we'll help you out today. We have a pretty moderate back window. Like, they give you a good amount of space on the inside of this, but, you know, it's got a little bit of a curve to it, so this would be a good one. Remind me, too, when we're getting to the back window. All right, so we're going to get started here pretty soon. We do have some extra time today, which is nice. So, I don't know. There's a little squeegee station over here for sharpening that I wanted to kind of talk about, I think, today. Let's do this. Can you shrink with a glove? I don't have a glove to shrink with. I wouldn't recommend, like, it's fine if you want to use a glove. It's just not what I'm used to. I tried it a handful of times. Always went back to, like, a soft card. Can you read comments on Facebook, too? Absolutely. Wherever you are watching this, I can see your comments. Did you figure out the smoke machine? I did. It was the dumbest problem. And somebody in the community kind of already had an idea of the problem. Turned out that was the issue, but it wasn't fixed in an easy way. Like, okay, so something. Actually, I don't want to show it exactly. But anyways, so there's a way to, like, whenever you're using a service like this, you're like connecting, so you can connect to YouTube, Twitch, and whatever. So I connected to my YouTube, and I tried disconnecting and reconnecting a couple times. But literally the dumbest fix. I've restarted the computer. I've done everything else. The only thing that I didn't do was literally log out of the software and log back in, and now everything's fixed. Somehow restarting the computer wasn't considered a log out and log back in, so. But yeah, it works now. No problems. Got it up and running in like 2 seconds. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun with those. We're gonna be putting them on the ceiling as soon as I get the hardware later today. So I won't be able to do it today, or have them up there for the stream, but next stream. So probably tomorrow. That's fun. In the meantime, we have a little, I don't know, we've been trying some different things here. So I kind of wanted to, I have like a little way to sharpen squeegees. I kind of wanted to talk about the 2 ways to do that. And that way I have a video for later. So we're probably going to do that first, and then we're going to do this car. He's not picking this up till like 5. So we have a little bit of time. Oh, I should probably shoot him a message too. I've been remembering to make it a point to let people know that I am streaming. So where do we do this? Share, copy. Good deal. Having trouble with my 2-stage, where and when to fold while pulling it on the top. We can, there's a few videos that I have on that. There isn't an exact placement, basically wherever it seems like it's going to be the easiest. So I'll pull the liner down to about halfway, because you're up from the door panel and you're down enough from the top. You usually have the most room kind of in the center, but you can go a little farther down too. But it totally depends on the windows, but generally just wherever it's kind of easiest to do that. The smaller the edge that you have to tuck into, the harder it's going to be to tuck them in like that. So that's why on like a Lexus, you'll have a real hard time. All right, let's put this on. And let's get to some work. Let's get to some work. Behold. I think I fixed all my stream issues too, so I can hear everything. Oh, did I not? Oh, wait, one more little thing. We have to have the camera switching too. I should pay for the software out of respect. Tech Tint God. I would have called this channel Tint Tech. However, that would be very confusing with the long time software. Good morning, good afternoon, happy Friday. Do you fix the smoke box? We might have. Yes, we did. We actually did. They work now. GoPro. And that's not working now. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. Oh, wait, we didn't turn the mic on. GoPro. Okay. So, I made a little squeegee station right here. You guys know this toolbox, but what's new is this. It's kind of little temporary placement. The idea here is pretty straightforward. I have seen like a couple other videos on this, but not with this vise. So we're gonna talk about, oh hey. Come on. Oh, come on. You gotta be kidding me.
Jose78 Rios super chatted $4.99. We see if you dis good job.
And it's not fixed. Super chat. I'm just gonna hit the button in case this doesn't work. Jose with a 5. We see if you did a good job. I thought we did. Hang on. Do I have to click like a refresh or something? Good Lord. Are we back to this? Here. I'm logging out. And I'm going to log back in. Update. Update? Do we update? No, thanks. Maybe later. Sorry, 2 seconds. 2-factor authentication. Slows everything down. Yes. It did. I did 2 super chat tests, and it totally worked. Allow, open. It pulled it up. Okay, so it even knows the title of the video. All right, well that's good. Alerts, YouTube, super chat, test, works. Okay. You need some more coffee? All right, we're gonna get back to this. Hopefully they work now. If I have to log out and relog back in every time, so be it. But let's sharpen some squeegees first. GoPro. Blackout, did the power go out for a bit? Okay, so I have a lot of old squeegees here. I was trying to find my Clear Maxes too, but I couldn't find them. But as you can see, these are pretty old blades and they're pretty worn. Well, what really would suck is to literally just toss these out because they're old, because they're still very good usable material here. The only thing that really happens is, as you guys know, the edge starts to get a nick and then it'll start leaving streaks behind. So, I have been on the search for some ways to keep blades for longer. This is one of those methods. This is a hard card sharpener. And it's pretty straightforward how these work. You have literally two sections of a snap-off blade right in there. You can unscrew, screw it back in, always keep a sharp one in there. And you take your hard cards and you run them through there, and then it shaves the sliver off. Well, there just so happens to be this extra little groove here. And what you can do is you can take your squeegee blade, you can wet this down, and then you're just going to shave off a little snippet of your little edge of your squeegee blade. So that was really, really cool. And I was doing this for a little bit. And the problem that I ran into is every so often, you would just not hit it quite right, or it would have to take extra material off. So like the first couple were pretty easy. And then if you get like a little nick when you're trying to do this and you just like a judder or something, you're gonna have the same problem with your squeegee blade. It's gonna have a nick in it, and then it's kind of hard to recover from it. Like I tried running it through, and then before you know it, the blade was kind of destroyed. So the actual consistent way, I think, to always shave off a sliver is this guy right here. So this is just a fancier vise. This is a tilty drill press vise. So I found this on Amazon for like $45. Right now I have it set to like a 30 degree. You can go with a regular vise. I just like the tilt because it just kind of makes it more accessible to you. But real straightforward on this. We also added these, I found these little like metal brackets. So we're playing around with the setup. So they have these little like rubber inserts. These just, if you can line them up, these just slide in here. So whatever you're putting in this vise, it'll give a little padding to if you want to use those. I took them off, so the metal is just pressing up on the squeegee. So what I want to see is if we can shave a sliver of this blade off. I've already practiced with it a little bit. So I just kind of put this in place here. I'm trying to give you guys like a good look at this. That's why I threw out my card sharpeners. They have to go perfectly square. 100%. I messed around with it a little bit, and I didn't understand how some people were always making it work, and then I talked to somebody that said, yeah, if you mess up, there's no way to recover. Well, on this, check this out. So we have just a little bit of blade exposed, and I'm just using just a 9mm knife. Oh no, we just messed up. Keep that blade flush against, and then bippity-bop. There you go. So the only thing that I have to figure out how to fix is these edges are curled up just a hair, but you could run this through with all your blades. So we're going to clamp one of these down. I've already sharpened some of these too, and it just got to the point where they couldn't be salvaged anymore. But if you want to keep your blades running longer, just keep that flush there. Shave that guy off. You could even probably hold that right at the end. How cool is that? You got a nice clean, fresh blade there. Infinite squeeze. You just take it all the way down to the bottom. So I'm still playing around with this setup. What I would like to do is to be able to pinch this end entirely. But when we put this in here, obviously there's going to be a little bit of a gap here because of the way that squeegee bevels down. So if there was a way to get a little clamp all the way up to this, That would be ideal. So if we could make some sort of a part that kind of pinch that end, that would be super cool. But for now, I'll have links in the description to this thing in particular. This is how the vise came, was just like this, and then I found these extra metal brackets that have magnets on them that just go right here. I also bought a couple of rulers that you could put in there, and I don't know, this is really cool. Yeah, exactly, because as somebody just mentioned in chat, 45 bucks for like one of these. Each one of these squeegee blades is gonna cost you about 10 bucks, and then when we get to something like the hybrid, this thing's gonna cost you like 15 bucks. And what's cool about this though, is you have this side here, and you have this side here. So in theory, you could have a pretty easy time shaving this one all the way down to like this edge right here. Probably a little bit farther. And then at that point, you don't have much usable blade. But, I don't know. Seems like a pretty interesting idea. If you have any extra thoughts, leave them in the comments. This is gonna be a dedicated video. I want to come up with the best squeegee sharpening solution because we've been tossing out blades for far too long. So give it a like, much appreciate. All right, so that's out of the way, cool. So we got a video to make, or we got a car to tint. So we're gonna use this guy right here, and I think I have most of my other stuff. We need to get a new blade on this guy too, because we used it for squeegees. But yeah, so I'm gonna work on like mounting it to something. I just put it on a towel so it wouldn't scratch up my box, and it seems like it's heavy enough that it just kind of works. So, yeah, drill press vise, who knew? Each swipe you save $10. Exactly. So out of the first 4 swipes that you use that, it just paid for itself. How often do you snap your blades? Depends. Usually every like 2 or like 3 or 4 cuts probably we'll snap a blade. Just whatever. You'll start seeing it get a little bit dull. Let's put a new one while we're at it. We gotta think of a good title for it. Squeegee industry will hate us for it. All right, so let's prep this BMW. We got work to do. Some good old Bose tape. All right, set that right there. Don't fall. Thank you. Wrap one of those guys there. There's lots of squeegees, but there's never been a squeegee sharpener tool, just a hard card sharpener. Hey! It worked! How about that? Mike D!
Mike D super chatted $10. Finally caught a stream, it's been months lol. Been tinting like a madman, it's awesome. Waiting on paperwork to come back to sign and I'll be official. Praying gesture.
Finally caught a stream, been months, welcome back. Been tinting like mad and it's awesome. Waiting on paperwork to come back, sign it, and it'll be official. Congrats, man. Dude, that is so cool. Glad you're busy. That's incredible to hear. That's one of the best excuses for anybody to say, like, I haven't been able to catch a stream lately, which you could just put it on your phone and, like, leave it on the side totally while you're working. Like, that's totally not a thing, right? But anyways, if you're staying busy tinting, dude, that's awesome. That's the point here. Get you guys work so you can stay busy too. Oh, we'll do the other one before we roll this up. That was cool. Thank you. Yeah, we might have figured out how to get fog machines hooked up to Super Chat. What was your first year like tinting? Well, there's two. I have two. No, more than that. Anyways, so the very first year tinting, I had it a little easy because the whole way I got into tinting was my dad had an auto accessories company, and he had somebody come in and teach me how to tint. So he had a tinter quit over the weekend, and then his business partner's son knew how to tint. So they set things up where he would spend a good amount of weeks at the same store, and then so I'd watch him and then kind of pick up a lot from him. And then from that it was just a lot of pain and struggle. Because it's tough to learn. You'll have super frustrating days and cars. But if you stick with it, you'll eventually get it. I think it's statistically impossible that if you always keep trying it, eventually you'll get it. Statistically impossible that you won't get it at some point. Because eventually you'll work through every mistake possible. Lots of pain and struggle, though. Because, I mean, they're paying me to be there, and they don't want me to cost the business money, and they still want to make the money off of the tint, right? So it wasn't just like, oh, you know, if you can't tint this car today, then that's fine. No, it's like, we got 3 cars for you to do. We need you to do them. I mean, if I took a day off of work for for being sick, I got yelled at. So the owner's kid, sure, but I didn't have it easy there at all. Actually, it was a little unfair. A little unfair that I can't even take a sick day without getting a phone call. Days you want to quit halfway through the car? Absolutely. You want to throw stools across the parking lot? You want to bitch the car out? You have a bad day. Try 3M Repair clear tape. It holds on very good. Also water resistant, lifesaver, then flexible. Thanks for the recommendation. I'd love to compare it to this stuff too. Like, just kind of across the board. It's really interesting to try the different ones that are available. So we're putting this on the panel too, because it seems to help a lot with getting the plastic protector to stick. So this isn't always a perfect solution, but we can do things to make it work a little bit better than not. Because the plastic, it only sticks so well. You need something a little bit more aggressive. So that's what this is for. Dang, thank you. That's my car. Looks like you're doing a great job. We're getting there. I guess you gotta work. That's okay. Can't hang out and watch the stream all day. Thanks for dropping it off. I appreciate it. We'll do right by it. How do you deal with bitchy customers? You be very friendly, and you just try to yes sir, no sir, and stick to your business. Don't get in a yelling match with them. I mean, I guess eventually you'll have that situation, maybe. I don't know, my clients seem to be really nice, but I've been around situations with disgruntled people. Some people you just never be able to make happy. They like come in with an attitude, and those are some of the hardest ones to deal with, and you just have to usually just break it off as soon as you can with them, because there's just, like I said, there's no making them happy. But you're always, as a business, going to want to try to do everything that you can within your business to make the people that are your customers happy. one way or another. So, but don't get rode over, like, don't get completely rode over. All right, so we're gonna roll each one of these up. I had a guy call today who was like, is that on? Why is that on? Can we do this? Come on, BMW. No, that didn't fix it. Anybody know a surefire way to keep the headlights completely off on these ones? Some of them, if you like pull up on the parking brake, they'll shut off. I don't want to leave headlights on the whole time for this one, but somebody's got a little trick for those. Let me know. Turn it to 0. We did try that. In the radio, there's a setting. Well, I don't want to go poking around a radio for 20 minutes. DRL off. So we try to turn on the least offensive light. Oh, the radar detector, that's great for me. I do have a jump box and charger. What was that? Bryce. Turn it to 0. Yeah, like, if the key's on, like, so I got to keep the key on, and like, even if it's on 0, it'll keep the headlights on. So, it's all good. We just won't dilly-dally too much. Just wondering if anybody had a trick. I don't. Did it shut off on me? Oh, how about that? It turned off. I guess when I closed the door? I don't know. There are some of these cars that just, they'll leave the headlights on the whole time regardless. They don't care. Like, so even if you put it to 0 or something, it's just like they'll leave like parking lights on or whatever. So, okay. Well, parking brake's up, and the door's shut, and lights are off, so that's good. I'm in a town of 46,000 people, a few other tint business here. Should I offer a different brand of film? Well, it's one way to stand out. I don't necessarily think film brand is the way to separate yourself from one business to the next. And the hard truth about business is the less people in your area, the more challenging it's going to be to get clients because there's only so many people in your town. So, do what you can to be different from them, for sure. But film brand is one of those things where it doesn't really seem to carry much for you. Like, most people aren't coming to you for a film brand. They're coming to you for you. Or at least they should be. A lot of people call around for pricing, so you got to figure out a way to stand out. Why do you scrub the back window? Because it makes it cleaner. So when we go to do stuff like this, it sticks better. And then we also don't have any little random speckles of sand and whatnot on there. No grit. Because I used to just wipe them off with a towel. And on a back window, when you're going to shrink, all those little speckles can rip through your tint when you're shrinking. So on the doors, you still could squeegee them off, but Towels are okay on the sides, but less okay on the back window. Is charging $50 for 2 doors reasonable, just starting out? Yeah, I mean, you can always try and bump that up. If you're putting out good work, there's no reason you can't charge more for it, though. I hear that a lot, and I totally get it. But just because you're new, it doesn't mean that you have to completely undercharge. It's just like, yeah, if you know your work's not the greatest, then keep shooting for the moon. But, you know, at the end of the day, if you did a good job on it, that's worth money. It's worth good money. We're going to buy the glass aid. It's still out of stock. I'm really sorry. It needs to be processed, so as soon as they get a hold of it and process it, I'll have it. So hopefully that's soon. Same process for tinting a windshield? Yes. And no, we're not doing a windshield. He was interested in it, so if you guys want to try and sell him a windshield, that'd be great. Where is my... That's this one. I know I had another one. Sorry, I need to still do inventory here. That's all my Pro Nano stuff. I gotta get some extra shelves. Been a little preoccupied with all that. Maybe I can start putting it on that. Oh, yeah, I did. I put it right here. So this is a brand new box 2, which is good. So this will be on standby. So we're running low on this one. And then check where we are on this one. Probably a couple more doors on this one. I just want to make sure where we were for the rest of it. Perfect. Dryer sheets to prep? Lately, yeah. Lately I have. Let me just run some of this water out because we just changed our tank. We got 30 feet of water here. Let's just water the ground. There, that looks fresh. Wow, selling it hard. There's no point to tinting the car. Get him. No, I'm just kidding. It's all good. Not everybody does their windshields. It's all good. But Chad, if you want to sell it, keep going. Sell me this pen. Oh. Hey man, I'm a broke college kid. This was breaking the bank as is. What do you say, guys? Do we have sympathy for that then? I feel bad. No, I don't. We still got people selling it. That's great. Definitely needed to do the windshield. Even if it's 70, you won't regret it. Heat rejection is key. We're doing our standard too. Does it matter what brand of dryer sheet you use? If you're going to use dryer sheets, use Bounce or Snuggles, actually. There's other ones that you can use. Those are the ones that I found to be pretty good. Costco brand and generic brands, like store brands, honestly were some of the worst dryer sheets that I ever used. So I would stay away from those. I didn't think it would matter, and then we got them, and then it was like, oh, those are real bad. What's the point? So dryer sheet, dry shrink prep, soap bar, whatever you use for dry shrinking, like you have to put something on the surface of the glass for the back window to help you shrink it. So if you just are tinting against the raw glass, like shrinking, it's tough. It doesn't stick. You need something to like let the tint float, and then as you're shrinking it, it kind of grab the tint. Mad props to whoever figured out dryer sheets. But you're gonna see some of those things in tinting because it's got such a, like, there were no tinting tools when tinting started. And it's still, there's only so many tools that are out there. So a lot of the supplies were found, like, 1, cheap, 2, convenient. So people just kept searching and searching and finding things from their local grocery stores and hardware stores that would work. So that's why dryer sheets, baby shampoo, baby powder, you know, any of those things. That's why people use them. Soap and water doesn't work. You can use a soap bar, that works. But soapy water for shrinking a back window is like a wet shrinking method. I always had an easier time with dry shrinking, so it's worth learning. So on the door windows, they're wet because there's less to shrink. On the back window, there's much more to shrink. So if you're dry shrinking, you're gonna use something else. They used the 2-piece back windows. Yep, that was an old school thing because tint wasn't very shrinkable. And then people, you know, like I said, they just kind of figured things out as they went. So then they started messing around with heat guns. I don't know the difference. So you're never gonna see me wet shrink a back window. It just doesn't make sense for me to do. Maybe as a rough comparison in the future. But you're always gonna see me dry shrinking back windows. So the way it's set up right now is just, we have glass 8 on it, and then I took a dryer sheet, I wet the back window down, wiped it all over, and then dry shrinking comes from, it's dry. Maybe we could do a half and half comparison and sacrifice a piece of film. It's not gonna be on this car, but it's actually, some of those things are good to have videos on, just so people know, like, this is what to expect if you don't do this. I've seen force strip back windows. Yeah, some people will really piece apart a back window, especially if they've never tinted before. What's the best tool apron to get for a beginner? Just get a good one from, like, the Avery Dennison one. I'd say it's just a good tool belt for everybody. It's the one I'm using right now. Search Avery Dennison tool belt. You can find it at Sun Distributing for sure. Ergodyne. Oh, the Ergodyne. That like 600 pocket one. Yeah, that's a really popular one that for whatever reason they always have in tint stores. That one's okay. It's got too many pockets for my liking. So do we even take it off? This is the Avery Dennison one. This is like, it's small enough where you can kind of keep it on the side. It's got 2 little loops here for squeegee handles, little pockets here for your knife and stuff. This was designed for vinyl wrapping. And vinyl wrapping is very similar to tinting, so this works really, really well for everything you need for tinting. So I probably have maybe 1 or 2 things too many in here, honestly. Don't need that in there. But yeah, 2 decent sized pockets, and then I've had this one for a long time. Years. I've had it for years. So, is the afterburn tape worth it from Fusion? It fixes... God, so many good questions right now. Just so happens that we actually have their heat gun with the afterburn tape on it. So if you're using this heat gun, you absolutely need it. But I could leave this thing running and I could grab this and this is only gonna feel warm. It's not gonna burn me. So if you get little burns from the end of your heat guns, this stuff will absolutely solve that. Good stuff. Yeah, it legitimately works. So it's not gonna like change your heat gun, but if you ever burned yourself from the edges and stuff, then that's better. Plus, like, some people drop their heat guns inside of a car, or they'd get distracted and they set them down in somewhere where they shouldn't. So when you put them on the ground, you know, you got hoses and cables sometimes laying on the ground. I don't know how many times I've accidentally put the heat gun down and have it start to singe through the electrical cable. Oops. But I've never ran over a heat gun, so there is that. It's like owning a manual car. They say if you have a manual car, don't get a remote starter on it. I taught myself to always leave it in neutral, so that wasn't a problem for me. So every time I pull a car out, I walk around it like twice, so I don't run things over. Good questions, though, today. Very, very good. Hey! Holy shit, they work. Alright, I guess we fix it by logging out and logging back in for every stream.
Town Tints super chatted $4.99. Want to see Fogger after got done tinting a carbon windshield on a journey only job I had all day. Sucks slowing down, gold medal, time using day SP.
It works. Thank you so much for the 5. Just got done tinting a carbon windshield on a journey, only job I had all day. Sorry to hear that. Things have slowed down for me a bit here too. But thank you so much for the 5. The fog machine looks like it's working now. So we're figuring out the quirky bugs. Looks like I have to log out and log back in to make it work for the whole stream. I don't know. Do you burn through lots of film learning how to double cut? Yes, I have. And I still do. Every once in a while I have to scrap 2 patterns. But what you lose in film, you will gain back tenfold in time. Time is going to be more important to you than the film that you're going to lose initially. So yes, every time you double cut and you scrap 2 patterns, it hurts. But then even on your first set that you just cut out right together, man, it's like one of the quickest things that you can do to speed up your overall time on a car. Start double cutting. Because when I went from plotters to mobile and I was hand cutting 100% for mobile, I was like, yeah, no problem. I can get a car done. And then I looked at the time and I was like, what took me so long? And then that's when I buckled down on double cutting. Grab heat gun by metal accident, PPF. Ooh. Yeah, that's no good. Yeah, so on a regular heat gun, you got these exposed little metal bits here. So yeah, taking some of that afterburn tape, putting it on there, yeah, that's gonna help a lot. You'll be able to actually grab it and then not burn yourself. Some of these things, like a lot of these questions, like, is it worth it? For most of them, most of like the double cutting, like the instance even where like the afterburn tape, stuff like that, it's like, okay, what is, you didn't have it, and like I don't have it on here, but I haven't grabbed the end of the heat gun. So as long as you're always careful. But I tell you, all it takes is that one burn, and then if you can't use those fingers until they're healing, that's like, shit, that's lost production there. So there are quite a few things that, like, yeah, it really is worth it to spend a little money on this, a little extra on that, because the end result is just a better outcome or higher production overall. These ones are bubbly. Why are you pulling the film? So what I'm noticing on these is they don't look super rounded, but they actually have a fair amount of curve to them. Kind of like the two doors that we did on the Accord yesterday. They're a little bit rounded. So what I'll do is, like, if they're like half dry, half wet right now. So I'm just kind of pulling, like, there's always more curve right in this section right here. So I'm shrinking them. And then when I get to this back curve, if it starts just kind of like sticking to the glass and I need to re-wet it, you can kind of just like pull that extra down. And just kind of straighten all this out, because you see these little guys right there? It's just annoying to take my sprayer, re-wet it, and then move everything over. So just kind of give it a little tug there. But we can check it. So if we want to be sure that we shrunk those, start from the top, squeegee everything down, and then give it a good check. Something small, like real small on the sides, isn't going to be weird, but if we had like some bigger fingers towards the bottom and stuff, that's where we'd have an issue. Cool. Should be good. Double check the other sides for the heck of it. Very cool. I see you put another monitor up. I did. I put it on a tool cart. So that is the That is the streaming tinting tool cart. So I can move it around. I haven't really moved it very much, but I have the option to. I had a bunch of other stuff laying around to make it happen too. Yeah, so when I go to install this, that's why I'm squeegeeing up so high and like moving everything to the bottom, because we shrink everything through the bottom. And then just kind of smoothing it all out and seeing what I have, if it's notable or if I need to shrink it any farther. Should be okay. They're a little more rounded than your average door window is. Do you shrink every time? Yeah, on door windows, I shrink all my door windows. Some people don't. I just ignore it, and I shrink like every door window, even on Jeeps. There's some you can definitely get away without shrinking, but there's so many that you should that it just helps. It's that little, where's the, oh, is the end right here? Oh, that's weird. Okay. It's a fresh roll. There's so many that, hey!
Alan Schultz super chatted $5. Glad to see you're back, Matt.
Alan!
By the way, my chameleon windshield is holding up great.
Guys, if you remember Alan, he had the he brought his Acura in for the full windshield, so the chameleon tint's still working. That's awesome. Thank you so much for the 5. Glad to see you're back. Yes. Yes, we are definitely back at it. We hooked up some fog machines too, so super chats are more fun now. How's the transmitter working? Transmitters, I wouldn't go without it. This thing's awesome. It's been super consistent. Every once in a while, I have to like reset the connection, but not when I'm streaming. Usually it's like when I'm during setup for it. Are you getting GoPro 10? I'll check it out. I'm not sure. I might buy it and then return it just to check it out, but I don't think there's going to be any significant change that's going to impact streaming. If there's something for streamers that I just like, well, I need that, then sure, but I don't know. I wasn't impressed with the image of the other one. So I don't think I need it. I'm a little sad though, because I was like, GoPro! I actually just saw a rumors video yesterday, so. Hey!
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. Gumustapo. Awesome Master Zombie 1 Kenobi.
Thank you, Daniel, for the 10. Awesome Master Zombie 1 Kenobi. That's a new one. Thank you so much for the 10. Glad to have you, man. Did the smoke machine scare you? No, startled maybe a little bit, yeah, but they're just like, they seem to go off before anything else does. It's just like, they're just fun. And it sounds somewhat like a tire or air compressor letting out all the air, like a spray tank or something. So there's always that little, like, you start to forget about it, and then it just, it's gonna be fun. I got some brackets coming. I'm gonna mount them up there, and they're just gonna be firing down. Should be sweet. It's my way of always having something fun, because I know you guys miss the balloon. So we could do both. but we won't always be able to do both. So for those cases, we always can have fog machines. Let's smoke it then. I'm not talking about MJ.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. Let's smoke it, and I'm not talking about MJ.
Thank you for the 10. So the cool thing about it too is that it's what is called a quick dissipating fog. So it doesn't impact it, like it's not gonna hang around. It's not gonna be anything else than what it is already. Like I don't have to open up the garage and turn on a fan and air it out. It's just they go off. We have some fun, and then it all disappears within a matter of like a second or two. So, good times.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. And since you don't have the balloon, I'm going to smoke you out, lol.
Thank you for the 10. The funny thing is you are going to run out of cash before you smoke me out. Or the fog machines will just run out of fog eventually. But like I said, quick dissipating fog, bro. Because that was my first concern, was like if I have a fog machine go off. Oh my God. Good Lord.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. Wow, this is fun.
Wow, this is fun. Daniel with another 10. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you like them. It was quite the process to try and figure out how to get them to work. I had to learn all about DMX and MIDI. I still don't know a whole ton about it, but I know enough. I know enough to do that. I should have a list. You guys are coming up with good ideas. I should have a whiteboard there, and we should have a list. Because you're right, soap bar versus a dryer sheet. That would be a great comparison. That's something we can do on stream. 10 out of 10 for idea there, and video. So, being that we have a lot of different tools now, I want to start doing comparisons between certain things. So, it's a great idea. I suppose I could bring up a notepad and write it down in there, but I like the idea of a whiteboard. You should add a peel board. I know, I don't know how to do one quite yet. You know, I could put one on that. It's a little far, but that one's sturdy enough for it. Glass is just heavy, so you need like a really good stand for it. Like glass and the pressure that you put against it when you're cutting. So I just like, a rolly stand has legs, and I didn't want it to like get in the way either. So my original idea was cabinets across here, and I still want to do those. And then I have the shelving too, so. I have a whiteboard at home. I should bring that over here. Need to put that on a whiteboard so I remember it. Need to bring a whiteboard on a whiteboard so I remember it. Because I'll forget. I don't know how long it's been for me to remember just bringing a roll of tape. So I can tape switches now. Excuse my ignorance, no worries. What are the super chats for? Super chats are just a way to show appreciation. They are also a way to ensure that I answer a question. So sometimes chat will be really busy, and I won't get to every question just because a lot is going on in the chat, and I'm working on a car. I don't care if you super chat or not. I'll still try and get to whatever I can. In terms of questions. I mean, yeah, I appreciate it, don't get me wrong, but like, I answer as many questions as I can. But it's really a way to support the stream and show appreciation for it. Can you show the bubbles on the bottom edge? What bubbles on the bottom edge? Whoa! Hang on. Wow. Okay, we need to secure it. This happened once before. I should have learned. I gotta mount this better. Luckily, it was just over here. My back window fell off the wall. Whew. Glad that thing didn't break. New sound for the .99 super chat. I'll have to play that back. Just like. Luckily it didn't shatter though, or hit anything. Just fell on the floor.
Daniel Rayner super chatted $9.99. Any super chats for fun just like this?
That was funny. Any super chats for fun just like this? I'm glad you like them, man. Thank you so much for the 10. You've been crazy today. I try to make them fun, but I also have a job to do, so it's a good balance between fun and non-intrusive to the job. Do you use a plotter, and what software or services do you use? I don't use a plotter, but I have used a lot of different software. So if you why? I left it just, oh God, we need to put this somewhere where it can just like chill for a minute. Apparently just propping it up against here, eventually it's gonna fall. What do I do with you? I don't know. The ghost is messing with me. Here, we'll just put that here. That'll be fine right there, right? It's gonna start throwing glass across my shop. There is a ghost here. So for the plotter software, I use, like, the one I recommend is Expel, but you're not gonna get Expel without being an Expel dealer. Everything else is, has these weird catches with it too. So I think there's like film and vinyl designs in Tint 2020 and maybe a couple others that aren't tied to any particular films. Because what happened was They're using software to try and sell you film. So if you settle in on a software and you like it, they have non-negotiable terms that is like, okay, well, glad you like our software. We noticed you're not buying our film. And you're like, yeah, I just like the software, and I'll pay for it. And they're like, actually, we don't want you to use our software then. Whoa!
Daniel Rayner super chatted $4.99. Is your shop haunted?
You know, I think it is. Thank you for the 5. I think we're letting out a ghost in here, and pretty soon other things are going to be flying around, not just the glass. Little did we know, we're not smoking at the shop, we're just letting out ghosts. Great. I like the comment that said, at least you know that whoever made the glass was good and strong. I'm really surprised that it's still okay. You know what? It actually fell in my garage, too. Maybe it's just the glass is haunted. No, we opened, like, the blazer door into it accidentally, because it was hanging on the wall, and I just parked too close to it. And I got bumped and fell. Still hasn't broke. Surprising. What's the weight thing you used to clean the window? That was a clay bar. Does my voice thingy still work? Clay bar? Oh, not right now. Yeah, we're okay. Oh, that's what that is. There's a couple of... Yeah, I gotta clean this off here. I guess it's not super surprising. There's a couple of very straight scratches on the inside of the glass. So these are unfortunately going to show. See how straight these are, though? These are so vertical, they go with the way that this rolls in and out of the seal. So this is something to note for you guys. You'll see these on the inside and the outside. Seals that usually have a harder rubber edge to them, especially, but it can be on any car. I heard something when I was squeegeeing. So, unfortunately, these ones are on the inside, which means they're going to stand out a little bit more when I go to tint it. They'll fill up with water for a day or two, and then they'll dry out and look vertical, or look like little scratches. There's no way to fix that without replacing the whole door glass, unfortunately, but kind of hear them when I squeegee by. But being that they're straight up and down, it basically just follows the window. There's a little rock or little piece of sand or something that'll sit in the seal, and the window will wear against it over time. Squeaky monkey will take the white out of the scratches. Oh, we'll have to try that sometime then. It's on the list of things that I left at home. What was that video idea that we had to do? Soap versus dryer sheet? Yeah, we can do that. I gotta put that on the list too, before I forget. I already forgot. There we go. We are all tucked in. Oh, somebody asked about tucking too. Maybe on the next door. Forget the super chat. This video is going to go viral because we're all going to share this. I'd appreciate that if you did. Soft or hard squeegee? Whatever the hybrid is. It's like a medium. The hybrid's my favorite. Do you have any videos on hand cutting the top? I don't think I have hand cutting videos. I don't think I have anything specific on cutting out a top edge. But I suppose we'll probably have to make some sort of compilation video here in the future where we do a car and then I can zoom in on it a little bit more. Because we already have top edges cut out, and we usually do double cutting, so we'll only have like 2 top edge cuts. And it's that white shadow moving back and forth, and that's the ghost. Because this is haunted. Oh, that's fun, right? Because you should be able to see that kind of stuff on camera, but I can't see it in person, so you guys can see the ghost. Or that's just my pasty self against the glass. What is double cutting? So when I go to cut out doors, I cut out both driver and passenger side on the front at the same time, and then I do the same thing for the back. Wipe this off, check it over. No, it was the ghost, or my pasty self. Either one, I guess. Cool. You need to cut the, oh, you need to flip the film for double cutting? Yep. So you're gonna mirror it. That's what you're doing. You're making mirrored patterns. So one faces one way, one faces the other way, and then so, you know, depending on which one you layer first, then you put them on their respective sides, and then you're all good to go. Can you see the scratch now that it's tinted? Unfortunately, yes. So you're not really gonna be able to see it initially. This is going to dry out, and as it dries out, you'll be able to see it. So usually a little bit more apparent than the scratch being on the outside. So whether or not you have a scratch on the inside or the outside, you'll still be able to see it. Because when you're putting a white scratch on a black backdrop, it'll stand out a little bit. The lighter the shade, usually the less they'll stand out, but they'll be there a little bit. But we do everything that we can to avoid scratching, so that's why I use stuff like this too. How do you remember Mercedes CLS W? I don't remember. I remember classes, but CLS, that specific one, I'd have to see it. Mercedes I get often enough, but like it's not my most popular type of car that I get here, so sometimes like they're a lot of them are very, very similar. If you get into like the C-Class, S-Class. Like, there's just lots of similarities between all of them. Okay. Ooh, that's fun. So we're gonna see if we can get a quarter window out of here first, before we move on to the other side. Actually, that'll work. So that tape line, usually that's right in the middle. So sometimes I'll discard the very beginning of a film if I'm gonna put it on a big piece of glass, but just the smaller sections that we need for the quarters will be totally fine. Is that carpet tape you have on the door panels? If so, does it stick well? It is carpet shield. Now, that's what I have on there. You'll notice that I put down another tape up here. Some door panels it sticks well to and some it doesn't, but this tape and tuck tape and other tapes like it seem to stick better. So sometimes you have to put like a line of tape at the top of the door panel and then it'll stick much better. It came in, oh man, it came in so handy the other day. So I had a TRX Ram back in here, and I've had a couple of vehicles with like stitching on the door panels. Anytime you have stitching on like a soft touch door panel, they'll typically swell. It's not every stitched panel, but it's usually like some of these soft touched ones. So on the Rams, and I don't remember what the other vehicle was offhand. Oh, it was an Alpha. I wouldn't trust paneling on an Alpha either. So, I basically put the tape right over the stitching, and then I put it at the top of the door. I created a watertight seal there. It was no water getting to that stitching. And then you have other materials like suede and stuff. You usually can get it wet and it'll be okay. Like it's suede, but like it's a car. It's like if it gets damp, like the automaker is not going to want to replace all your paneling every time it rains outside or something. So some of that is like it's made to endure some things. But that being said, you still want to be careful with it all. You're welcome, sir. I've noticed panels will turn blue from the soap. Oh, so some of them will get like a milky, haze on them. Yep. Yep. Sometimes you'll have little like water streaks down them. The easiest way to like fix it is take a rag, spray your rag with the same slip solution, wipe the entire panel. Like if you just have some inconsistent streaks there, it'll like take it all out. It'll wet it and it'll all dry and it'll all look good after the fact. But I know what you mean. You know, I'm not much of a turbo person, but it's nice to see that Fusion made a good turbo. because the regular turbo just leaves a whole bunch of streaks behind, and I've never liked it. This guy leaves a couple little ones behind. But the pink one, it slides really well. That one's alright in my book. I probably bought too many different ones, but hey, that's how you find out which one's good, right? You take off the spoilers and hatchback like the MK4. Is that the Golf? No, I don't remove any of that. I still tint around it all. Having the interior paneling off would be helpful, like the side ones, but I'll still tint with it there. I should probably start covering panels. So, covering panels, I tell you, if you are doing video or taking pictures, or you have somebody in the back of your shop and they're watching their car get tinted, or anything like that, like even if you just take a picture of them covered and post it, people really appreciate that, because one of the #1 comments that I've had on my most popular tint videos are, man, I'm never gonna bring my car to him. He just made an ocean inside that door panel. Anything like that. So, even though I know nothing's damaged, and you know nothing's damaged, when people see it for the first time, it's doesn't make you feel super comfortable about your car getting tinted. Like water, electronics, you don't want to see it. So when you take the time, you cover it up, it goes a long way. I was like the #1 thing I needed to fix when I started doing live streams. I'm asking about cutting and shrinking because it's very hard. Sorry for my language. Nope, no problem. I'll try and answer your questions the best that I can. Everything's already kind of cut and shrunk on the sides. We still have this back window to cut and shrink though. Bring. Oh, BMW. You have such elegant chimes compared to Ford. BMW is all like fling. Meanwhile, Ford's like. How did that one pass? Who made the sound, and then who approved the sound, and then what? Did they take it to like a sample group of people, and it was like, that is the best one? Yep. Always trip the doors. You guys can listen to it for a little bit. I used to, and then what I forget to do is to untrip the doors before I shut the door, and then it makes a loud thud, and I feel like it broke the door. So we just leave it. All it takes is me forgetting it for half a second, and then I close it. Plus, if you're working around other people, you all need to be on the same page too. So it was kind of like a safety thing there too. But if everybody's used to it being tripped, then you're all good. Do you recommend tint keg for a beginner? Yeah. I mean, I always recommend them. If you don't have the budget for it, or you're just like it's just you don't have a ton of money to spend on extra film and supplies and stuff, it's definitely one of the places where you can save some money while you're practicing. If it's not a big deal, then just like get everything that you're gonna need professionally, because it's honestly it's not that expensive. And like if you want to be like a mechanic with like a fully loaded toolbox and stuff like that, dude, you're gonna be spending tens of thousands of dollars on tools and stuff. If you want to be a window tinter with everything that you could possibly need, you're gonna be spending like, I don't know, like $500 on tools. Like if you want everything that you would need to tint a car, then it's like it would be under like $250, like right around that range. Like, and that's like with all the good shit. And then if you want to get spares and stuff like that, that's where like it'll start adding up a little bit more. But so tint keg, what do they run brand new with a hose setup? Like 300? Yeah, it's not bad. It's an investment, but that'll be like one of your biggest expenses, and the thing is a tank. Literally, it's gonna last forever. But I tinted without them because they just, wow, that's fun. Just throw that on the ground. I tinted without them because they just weren't really a thing when I started. And I figured out how to do it okay. Aww. I like them.
Daniel Tapia super chatted $5. I want to try the fog machine too. Embarrassed smiley face. Thanks, man.
Is that Daniel Reyna again? Thank you so much. Oh, no. Oh, wait, no, was that? Sorry. Oh, Daniel! A different Daniel! Daniel Tapia, thank you for the 5. I want to try the fog machines too. Thanks, man. Oh, dude, thank you for the 5. That was fun. They brighten up my day for sure. $3.39 for a 3-gallon, $3.69 for the 5-gallon. Oh, okay. So they've gone up in price over time. It's been a little while since I've looked. My justification for not caring as much about the price is it's literally something that you use on absolutely every car, and they'll last forever. So when you're starting, no, you don't need to spend that along with the tools if you're trying to save some money on that. It's a hefty expense. That one will be a hefty expense in the beginning. Like tanks, when I was first buying them, were like $250. Like anywhere from like $250 to $300. But shit goes up over time. So I think mine was from like 2013. And I still have the same tank. I've changed the hose setup, but I have the exact same tank from 2013 with a lot of the original shit on it too. Original dip tube, original pressure release valve, just whatever it came with. The only thing that we changed out was a quick disconnect and the hose. But the hose is like, you know, those will wear out over time because it's a hose. But the new hybrid hoses that they have, like I had the shitty curly hose. Now the new hybrid hoses that they have, they lay pretty flat on the ground. And they're super durable too, so they'll last quite a long time. More durable than the Flexilla hose. Which is super cool looking though. So I have both. But yeah, if you're gonna use a sprayer, use a Poly 2. Poly 2 is great. Or people recommend the trigger sprayers, but I never like those. So don't use it. No, I'm kidding. If you want to, go ahead. Bring, bring, tick-a-ding. I need that monitor to be bigger. I can read the chat from like that side, but I have trouble reading the chat from that one, even though that one's closer. Oh, we should have waited a second to pull that tape, huh? When I apply film like you, I always have bubbles when the film touching the inner seals. Tape them and practice. It's the best thing that I can tell you. It takes time to finesse it, learn how to finesse it right in there and keep everything clean. The more that you have to fight with it though, the more dirt you're gonna have. So you just want everything to go as smooth as you can, which is why I usually use a little bit more soap. So everything slides on the glass easy. So you put it on the glass, it slides over, and then then it's a matter of tucking the other side. All right, we're almost done and we can stop this door chime. But boy, is it a happy door chime. Ta-da! And then quiet. All the other ones can be opened, but not that one. There we go. Pull too fast and this stuff starts to wrap over the top. I don't like when it does that because then it wastes more. It's dead. What timing. There we go. There we go. Now we're good. It's not dead, it just has a timer. There we go. Cool. You guys know how this one goes. Oh, I suppose we should talk a little bit about folding the side into the seal. I have a video that's with this exact window. Exact driver's rear window video about tucking film into the side seal. So check the channel for that if you want another example. What's the white thing? It's glassade clay bar. But, so I usually just aim for like halfway. When I'm peeling film, peeling the liner, you have the paneling that sticks out this way. And you want to make enough room from the top too. So usually what I'll do is aim for about halfway, sometimes a little bit lower. And that's pretty much with every door window. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, coupes, everything with a frame on it, I'm gonna aim for pretty much the center. That way it gives me enough room from the bottom and then enough room for the top where I've got a lot of film exposed, and then I can roll that up and then just slide it in real easy, and I'm not fighting with anything. So what's also gonna make this really easy to tuck in is the slipperiness of your film. So then we pull this other side. You get it to lay flat against the glass, roll up that edge, and then it just coasts into the side. And then you kind of get like, once you get below, like inside to the seals, you can just do that a little bit. Make sure the film is like fully flat everywhere. So these see, we need to go a little bit farther here. These BMW seals, the plastic's a little wider, but these aren't pressing very tight against the glass at all, so I have some room to work with. There's plenty of them that press tight on the glass, and I still do the same thing. So get that in place, lock it in, and then here you're really only concerned about the top like quarter to third of the window. All this can still have water, so if I squeegee out to the bottom here and just make sure everything has been squeegeed out, you'll see it's kind of pointless because of what I'm doing next. So I roll this up, and then you'll see when I go to pull this liner, see water's shooting up to here. So really it's about locking that part down. Everything else can be squeegeed out at this second half. So you're just gonna make sure everything was in place and stuck. Because if it's not stuck, then you're gonna roll the window up and the film's gonna be sliding on you. Gotta make sure your film is slidey enough so you can get it into place, but then you don't want it to ice skate all over the glass when you squeegee it out. You want it to tack up in place. But it is better to be on the slippery side of things rather than the sticky side of things, because when it's sticky, you fight with it a lot. Because you're just going to try and get it to go into place, and it's just not going to move on you. It's going to bind up in the corner or side edge, or you're going to be shifting it over, and then it's just going to pick a little spot, and it's never going to move. Sweet. There we go. Give it one more good squeegee. Usually go from top to bottom at the very end just to make sure, you know, we got out a bunch of water and it'll look pretty even when it's drying. Give it that last swipe on the sides, and then you're good to go. Check it over. Do you sell shaved edges? No. No, I have something that I'm going to be trying out here that might make that happen, but I don't have anything right now. Honestly, I'm not good at it. How much was that Civic back window? Oh, the one that kept the ghost. Probably extra with the ghost, or maybe that's why it was cheaper. It was like, cost me like $160 for that window. Back windows actually are pretty inexpensive for glass shops. So contact a local glass replacement company and just tell them you want to buy one. It's I think it might be a PGW too. It's not the OEM glass, but it's been super helpful. I've had like 2 or 3 of those hatches since I bought it, and it's just been helpful. Oh, did we do this the wrong way? Oh, this is my flat edge. Oh, okay, so we want to do it this way. So if I go to shrink this, I want to make sure it's either this way, or I know if it's turned that I shrink it the other way. It's easy to flip around a quarter window when it's not attached to anything. Oh, we gotta tape it. My bad. Silly me. What is the best full tint for the windshield? Street legal. Street legal is going to depend on your local state laws. There's nothing that I can do about that. But the lighter you go, the safer you are. So if you want to basically ensure that something is, you're not going to be hassled for something, you're talking about like it's not going to look tinted, but it's going to have heat rejection. So my Pro Nano 70% really, really fits that well. But street legal is totally based on your local state laws. And I don't know where you live. Here, things are legal if you have a doctor's note. Other than that, like, so it's kind of like we don't know if you have a doctor's note or not. We're not required to check, so it's kind of like it's up to you. It's like when auto parts stores sells you things for your car in your state that like like an underbody kit. They're like, this may be illegal in your state, but that's what it's for. So it's up to you. Think about 35% California. It'd look cool. I'd check California state laws. I love 35 on a windshield though. 35% on a windshield is, are we sideways? Where are we? I don't even know which way this is oriented then. I thought it was that way. Maybe it's not. Oh well, we'll be fine. I think. If we're not, we'll fix it. And what size for windshields? 36s are going to cover most windshields. So the only ones that it doesn't is like transit vans. Transit vans and just the giant ones. 36s covered basically everything. Go. Might have a finger pop up here. We'll see. These quarters, they're generally pretty good. Sometimes they have a little bit of curve to them. So sometimes you'll be fine. Sometimes you'll have a little something that might pop up. So if we do, we'll fix it. And if it doesn't look good, we fix that. But I generally like to shrink these a little bit. Just look like, and I did, it just looked like it was not the proper orientation. Bar, scrubby, stop sticking to all my stuff. Thank you. Neat. Take this off. Take this off. Sweet. So we are now basically done with all the sides. And now it's onto the back window. SunTech or XPEL? Good question. So I would probably swap out SunTech with Lumar if I was going that route. I'd probably go to XPEL, but they're both kind of unique in their businesses. So XPEL is going to make you basically carry all XPEL products. So if you're cool with all their offerings, then that's kind of the route to go. But Lumar definitely has their advantages too. Actually, I don't know. It's a little tough. It'd be pretty close. I'd probably just give them both a shot. But I'm on GeoTrain, so like, I'm not even looking at either of them. So that's the real answer for me. Just got my windows tinted. Just got my BMW tinted. Oh, look at that. Another BMW. How about that? They said the little bubbles around the back window will come out after it dries and it gets the water out. Is this real or BS? Mostly BS. But so you've got the drawing, like, so this is kind of like an example of the back window. This has the same frit line, so if that's what you're talking about, when it dries, you can take your finger and press it down and get it to stick a little bit better. It's never going to be perfectly fine, but you will have water that is drying out in the beginning. So give it a couple days, but if you have like white specks or white air pockets, those will not go away. So the silvering around the dot matrix, that is because the dots are raised. So if that's specifically what they were talking about, then you can press it down a little bit better. They won't just magically go out. You'd have to, like, on a warm day, press them down with like your finger, and then it'll help, but it's still not a perfect fix. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, a lot of shops, what they say is like to get you out of their hair. Unfortunately, what some shops will tell you is like, oh, don't worry, it'll be fine. Just let it dry for a few days. The film, yes, it needs to dry for a couple of days because there's moisture in between the film and the glass. But anything that's like bright white, silvery, it's not going to change. So yeah, give it a couple days and then try and press it down with your finger. But dots are, like, in their defense, dot matrix, like, even on this car, another fellow BMW, on that car over there, a Civic, on any car with raised dots around the border, you're always going to see them. The glue on the film doesn't fill in those dots, unfortunately. I wish it did. I wish it made it perfectly black. But like you can see here, they're hardly noticeable at all. It's because it's full of moisture up here. But if I go to the other side, that's where you can definitely see them more. Because this has already had some time to dry out here. So you can see that line right up here. So we'll have it around the whole border on the back as well. So if that's all you've got for like an issue, then they actually did a good job then. Hopefully that's all. Maybe they said it would even out. I don't know. You are very welcome. Glad I could clear that up. That's what we're here for. We make shops life easier. I handle all their customer questions. First time catching a stream? Welcome. How much do you charge for a windshield? Depends on the film. If it's with the rest of the car, we do them for $130. If it's just the windshield on its own, then they start at $150 on most vehicles. Oh shit. Weren't we supposed to talk about shrinking on a back window? See, you guys gotta remind me of these things. So, since we just whipped through the rest of it, really what you're trying to do when you're shrinking is, you'll notice that in the top corners especially, where the curve happens the most is gonna be towards the top corners, and then you usually start at like the lowest point. So you kind of want to keep it even together. When you're shrinking, all you're getting that film to do is pull together. And as it pulls together, start seeing that sideways tension. So this is where that point starts. And I want to start shrinking right above it. And you can put a little heat on it and get it to shrink. And if you pull the heat back, it'll actually start to shrink a little bit more because that film is still a little hot. So you just get that film heat wave going back and forth, and you start getting these sideways dealies. So then you're going to be all careful and you're going to push them down. Well, now I've got little swoops going this way. So it just kind of go where they connect. Shrink this out, up. Now we're still kind of going across even. Oh look, I got little spikies. These look a little sharp. Shrink them here. Get them to go sideways. Because when you get that film to lay, like those wrinkles to go sideways, what you're doing is you're getting the film to lay flat. And there's just air in between there. So you just push that out. So the areas that it's most bunched up in are going to be the most difficult. So what you can do is you can pull it on the edge, lift it, try and get it all even, and then just shrink across that whole area, and then let go. And now look, some of this went sideways. So we just push it up. Do a little bit more up. Press it down. So the way I shrink is I'll do a little bit of pull shrinking, finessing and whatnot. And then when I get that heat wave going and it all kind of looks like it's just laying down normally, that's where you see me go back and forth. And then as it lays down, I'll just press it down with my card. This has a swoop here. So like this is the third brake light. So we're gonna cut that out. So this is all just, the little tape is keeping that thing up. That's all you're doing with heat shrinking. Get it to go sideways and knock it down. I meant to explain that earlier, but I'm gonna have to give reminders. Remind me when I start getting to a particular point in the car if you're really interested in like what I'm doing, because I'm talking a lot and I forget. Where did my other light go? What kind of card? Ooh, hang on. Let me see if I can link that for you. Felt card. There we go. I'll put a link in chat for you. Carpet shield. Dang, that's fun. I like when that works. But yeah, it's like a foam block with like a felt material around the whole thing. So they give you like a very similar pressure of just using like a plastic hard card, but the added benefit that if you hit a speck on the back window, it's not gonna rip right through your film. I used to use a gold Teflon card. They were awesome. I liked them a lot. And then anytime you make a mistake, like you go a little fast and you crease the film, well, it's a hard card on the film. Puts a much harsher imprint. Same thing with the specs. So I would wipe off a back window with a towel, and then, you know, it's not a perfect way to clean a surface. It just cleans most of it off, and then if there was like a little speck of sand or something, you get that trapped in between the film while you're shrinking. Your hard card will grab that piece of sand and tear a hole right through the film. And it would always happen in like the final stretch. So I'd be 3/4 through shrinking a back window, and then I would scrap the whole thing. It sucked. Then somebody showed me the Mac Tac. So there's like the generic felt card, and then there's the Mac Tac. The Mac Tac is a little bit more high quality version of it, but they both work very good. It's one of those tools where you could buy either and you'll still do great. There's some generic ripoffs like the bulldozer. The bulldozer ripoff is not as good as the original one. Ooh, we should do that too. We need to talk about knockoff tools. Oh, that'd be a fun one. I've got a whole bunch of knockoff tools I can talk about. I've tried so many. There's a line on Amazon. They completely ripped off Tri-Edge. I'm gonna write these down quick. There's 2 things I need to write down here. So we need to write down soap versus dryer sheet, and then sharpen squeegees. We did that one today. Soap versus dryer sheets and knock off tint tools. We'll put that on the list. Awesome. GoPro. GoPro. Last little shrink. So we cut off the film, and then when you cut off the film, what you'll notice sometimes is at the edges you get these little ripples in certain spots. So that's really like you shrank the film, and when you cut it, you kind of cut off your, like that shrink was connected, and you just cut it off in the middle. So in some spots, it's really good just to take a heat gun, get it close to the glass, and just really tighten up that edge. You're gonna thank yourself when you get to this bottom, because if you have a small finger that pops up on the bottom of the glass, it's gonna be way more annoying to heat and press out than something towards the top. That's where the deck lid pinches. That's where all the water starts to settle. So it just takes a long time to try and dry it out. So let's give ourselves some room. Let's play some b-ball. Look at that. Got basketball here waiting for us. Let's put a hoop up there, bounce off, smack right on the car. That's what would happen. No joke. That's what would actually happen. Same thing with a skateboard. Anything fun and recreational in a shop, it's going to go straight for the car. That's just how that works. Dash protector. Does dash protector work good on a back window, or is it just mainly for a windshield? Because I have it sitting over there. I've never tried it on a back window, though. Seems like it would be a little bit of a pain. But it's a big wholesome towel, so we can at least throw it in here and see what that's like. We gotta take off these, what are we dealing with? Headrests. No! Is this one of the ones that doesn't come, like the seats don't fold forward? The headrest would come out if the seats folded forward or if the roof was slightly taller. Oh, whatever. Speaking of skateboard, he's got one. Holy shit, I didn't even know. Oh, dang it. There's no, like, roof releases. B-ball and some skateboard. Let's do it. This would be kind of cool if this tucks in here all nice and neat. Stays out of my way. Let's get something to help tuck this in. Seems like it might. It's kind of an afterthought. Take this, these. I don't think it's gonna tuck in here quite nice though. Okay, maybe not. Maybe unless we like really push this thing in here, which I don't want to do. So we'll just kind of keep it flipped up here. That'll work. Not the greatest back window towel, but that's okay. It'll cover most things up. Keep those right there. Squeegee. There we go, one more time. And then, oh yeah, we put it up here. Sweep. And we're gonna pick it up. Yeah, the sprayer, wow, there we go. It'll stay consistent through most of, like, a good part of the spray tank. So if you do, like, I usually do 3/4 water and then 1/4 air, and it'll be enough to get through, like, the whole tank. And then it just, you keep on going. With the pump sprayers, like, every window you're gotta keep pumping that little bottle up. And I've done it, and then they start to run on empty. So they work well, but if you're mostly in the same spot, and I still use the 3-gallon tank when I was mobile, but the hose kind of got annoying to, like, carry across the shop if I had to go from one bay to another. But yeah, spray tanks, they're super helpful. It just kind of makes sense. Pressure on demand. So we're gonna slide this up. There's a little rubber gasket here, so I'll kind of slide up there. Make sure you are 100% covered on everything, because that would suck. Get to this point, squeegee it out, and then you have a little sliver of light. It's no fun, ever. Can't believe there's 0 bubble. We shoot for as close to perfection as we can. There's usually always going to be something that you can find that you don't like, but it'll be incredibly small. We try, and we're always trying to get, better. That's why we've added things, a couple small things like the tape, clay bars, door covers, anything like that. Like a Never Frankenstein. That's what I grew up on. Good old Munsters. Carrying the whole back window in and just kind of like sliding it in that way, that's the way I learned. So I have a lot more practice with that. I kind of wish I was better at reverse rolling back windows, but I mean, back windows are stubby enough on the sides to where you can carry them in without messing them up. And then the back windows are kind of designed in a way where you can always like tuck, like get the film to lay on here and then slide the whole thing down. Windshields, they're just, I've never been able to do the exact same thing on a windshield with as clean of a result. I used to carry in windshields, and then I forced myself to learn how to reverse roll on them. But back windows have more paneling and stuff in the way. They have third brake lights, so the guys that can reverse roll a back window, more power to you. It's a great way to do a back window. It's easier to teach. And it's a little bit more methodical, I think. It's less chaotic. So like when I carry in a back window, it's just kind of like and whoosh. But teaching somebody that is very difficult. Those third brake lights are easy to remove. Are those just like a pop-down style? I'm a little cautious with removing BMW, like the push clips, because I don't want to break one of those push clip ones. I remove all the other ones though, so if it's like those, then that'd be pretty cool. Then you could tint right over that where the brake light is. But anything that's kind of got a housing in the way and a nice dot matrix cutout, I'll just kind of leave it as is and then go around it because it still looks pretty clean. But if it's an issue, I could do it. Oh, it's the sliding clip. So it's a little cover and then maybe we should do this whole brake light then. I wouldn't mind doing that. I just typically don't. Thank you for the heads up though. Yeah, it looked like it. I just haven't. So what pulls off first? This. Okay, so the brake light, no, brake light's got those plastic clips, so this housing will come off. That pulls off, and then these are what? Those little slidey ones? It seems stuck here. But these, yeah, that comes off, that comes off. Hang on. This part though, I just want to be sure. Yep, there we go. Yep. Okay, it's got those hooks. I just didn't want to damage it. I've pulled off plenty of these BMW brake lights. I just haven't done that one specifically. We gotta go find that. So there we go. That'll come off. All right, we'll tint the full brake light. That's fine. Thanks for that. Cool, there's that clip. Nothing like a little runaway clip on you, huh? So here we got both of the clips. Definitely want to save those. Yeah, so we'll cut out an extra piece. So this will technically be a two-state or a two-piece back window. But no worries, because like I said, I've gotten so used to like most of the ones with a brake light that has a nice dot matrix border here. That's the key difference. It's got a nice, clean, smooth line here. Most of those back windows have enough shit in the way with the way that they design the car. Sometimes you have to remove like a good section of the roof. But if they're these easier pop-off style ones, yeah, it's no big deal for me to just remove this. That's fine. We'll just leave this over to the side. So we'll just cut out a little piece, stick it up there, and then I'll have a nice, clean brake light all the way around. Cool. So let's, guess we'll use that piece, huh? Use a little glass aid, use a little care. We got time. We have a little bit of time. Actually, we got a lot of time. Thanks for the heads up on that one, though. I didn't even, just got used to cutting around them, but that'll make it look a little better. I finally caught alive. Welcome. Where did we put that? We put that roll up there, didn't we? So, if I had pulled that off earlier, I would have just gone straight across. I would have put my line right here, gone around the whole thing, and then that would have all been one piece. But now we're doing it in two pieces because we didn't do that beforehand. Now we're gonna make a little brake light. And then if he doesn't want his brake light tinted, we can just peel this off. But most people do. If you can on most and he's gone limo, I'm sure he's gonna want this covered too. It's never been a question. Actually, very rarely. How long does it take to learn how to tint to that level where a person is able to offer the service? I want it tinted, don't worry. All right, well, let's make it happen. Where did I put my tool belt? It's a tough question. So everybody's different, and some people just take to it much quicker, and some people are just gun-ho about tinting. So they just put in a lot of work, and you can be tinting within a handful of months. You got a lot to learn, but like, I mean, if you buckle down, like you can get doors out, you can get whatever knocked out with enough patience and time. And then you can just charge whatever time it takes you to make the work happen. So I didn't feel really competent in most situations until I was tinting for like a full year. And that it wasn't just like I've been tinting for a year and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I'm good at tinting now. No, it was just like a very painful process, and you get better every day. Get some film, get some tools, start practicing, and then just see where you're at. This thing is slip sliding all over the place. Cool. There's one. Do the shield too. If he wants to get it, I'd be more than happy to do the windshield. I've been tinting for 2 years. Just perfected trucks and windshield. Oh, if you can do windshields, shit, you'll be fine. There's always tricks to doors, but I mean, in terms of difficulty, doors, then back windows, then windshields for sure. Windshields are like the toughest all around big piece of glass that you gotta do. It's there, might as well let Matt do it. Oh, there's a Bryce and then there's a Brady. So I'm getting confused on like, somebody said to do it, and I'm like, was that actually the customer though? Look at this. Got our own little separate brake light here. There we go. We should have already gotten that piece ready. I'm trying to sell the windshield? Okay, I appreciate it. I was so confused though because he had like, we got B names going on. I'm like, is that the guy? Does he want me to do it now? We got it here, might as well do it. That's great though. One of these days One of these days, you guys would be able to sell something for me. We're not. That's so great, though. Thank you for hanging out with chat. We like having fun. There was this one, I remember this one guy that was in chat. I don't remember for what car, though. But we were doing, like, standard tint on it. And then chat was like, wait, what? We're not doing carbon or ceramic? And I was like, well, he's in chat if you want to talk to him. And they're like, oh, you should totally get it. I don't think that worked either. You guys got to work on your sales pitch a little bit. I blame you. All right, let's check it out before we put that brake light back up there. Oh, dang. So you're still going to have the dot matrix line around the brake light, but at least the brake light is also blacked out too now. There we go. Tuck those things together. Easy peasy. All right, that's all set. Cool, we can put the brake light back on. Now about those little covers. So to put these back on, put them on a little bit, and then there's these little tabs here, and every BMW seems to do these the same way. Every BMW has these little sideways tabs, so even if it doesn't look like they do, they do. Ooh, that one went on nice. Easy. That's glad to see. And then this will slide back in up here. So some of them have, like, there's one, there's two. Some of them have like 3 to 5 little clips up here, and then the blue one will snap off. But the rest of it'll be good. But just further note on like BMW brake lights, I'm glad to see that this is the same way. Woo! It's looking good. So let's pull out this towel. We got a little bit of touch up to do. Make sure everything's wiped down, and then that'll do it. This will be all set. There we go. There's that. Gotta find a spot for that. And let's take a towel here. Get some glass cleaner. Go around the whole thing. Yeah, this thing turned out nice. It'll be plenty dark. Thank you, sir. Oh, it locked itself too. Or I locked it. What did we charge for this one? This was the Pro Classic. This was $240. Yeah, let me get a heat gun. Make sure those little thingies are knocked down. Do you ever have car batteries die? No, never. Yeah, totally. Especially in the wintertime. That's when it gets the worst. Batteries are cold. Older cars. And then the occasional just like oddball car will die on me that I don't expect. So I do have I've got that jump box over there now, and I can charge cars in the meantime. So when they're topped off, oh, what the fuck? Oh shit, that's like a hornet or something. Eee, I don't want that. Hell no. Not in my shop. Please don't come out and get me. I don't know where your stinger is. It's gone. Oh shit. Maybe it's in this one. I think it was a hornet. It was definitely like a big old fucking thingy. Well, that's a ghost. We're just gonna forget about it now. What were we talking about? I haven't ran into one of those. I suppose we're gonna get into the season though. My dad's shop, every fall we would get bees start coming into the tint bay. 'Tis the season. Killed a potential customer. I noticed some people use blades to clean out the side seals. Does that ruin the blade? For the most part, it'll definitely dull it out. Anytime I use it for glue removal, especially, it'll definitely dull out the blade. Small stuff, like if you're just using it a little bit, you'll be okay. But yeah, if you're like cleaning all the seals on a car with it, yeah, you're gonna dull it out by cleaning on the seal. So if you scrape it over like these two, all the window, I don't know, these ceramic decal impressions and stuff like that, that'll dull it out really fast too. It doesn't take much to dull out your knife. I'm just gonna leave that there. And then I'm gonna get stung. Let's not get stung. Woo! That looks good. So key is, where did we put the key? Sorry, we set him on the floor. There's an insect crisis here we have to take care of. Dang. So I know it's a little like fish-eyed with this camera and everything, but like, look at that. That is good looking. Limo always looks good. It is dark, but it looks good. Oh shit. Oh, is that a fly? Oh, that's a fly. God damn. Now I'm all freaked out that I'm gonna get stung by something. I don't like stingy things. All right, so we're all good. Good deal. Where's my coffee? We can hang out for a couple of minutes here. Cannon. Whoa! What timing? Hell yeah! Oh, dude, thank you so much. Oh, that's super cool. Bryce with the 15. Love it, Matt. See you soon. Appreciate it, man. Glad you liked the stream. What timing for that too? That was awesome. Oh, there it is. Now it's popping up. I think I gotta change one of those services.
Bryce Ruthruff super chatted $14.99. Love it, Matt. See you soon. Love you, gesture.
Woo! On the next stream, we're gonna put those things up here, and they're gonna be downward firing. It's gonna be sick. Sick, bro. That went well. Bees don't sting you just to sting you. Yeah, well, I'm still like, so if I get stung, like, most of the time, yeah, they fly around or whatever. I still hate when they fly by my head and stuff like that, because there was one time I got stung here, and then there was another time I was walking through the grass, and then I got stung. Sure, I was probably walking somewhere I shouldn't, but my arm swelled up, and then my foot swelled up and hurt like hell for a couple of days, so that's not going to be fun. So I'm going to freak out a little bit. But that was a nasty looking, like, longer thing with the sharp thing at the end. The first one. The other one, I think, was just a fly. Did 20 over 20 on my rear glass of my Explorer. Looks great. That's awesome. Yeah, that'll be basically 5%. So limo. Very, like, same shade that we have here now. 20 over 20 will give you that shade. It's another one of my popular SUV choices. If you're going to go darker on the back, that's a good way to go. Yeah, looks like everything is all good still. So how y'all doing? Y'all having a good time? We normally just go ahead and end things, but I have a little bit of time. So if you guys have any other questions or whatever. 5 over 20 on the factory, too dark, question mark? I would probably, honestly, I'd stick with 20 on 20. I've done plenty of 5 over factory 20. It is kind of difficult to see out during the day, and then at night you're not seeing out of it anymore. So it is like stupid dark. So limo will still give you, like, you're not seeing into the vehicle. So it's just kind of like, but for all my 5 on 5 on 5 people, I mean, they'll say you can't put enough layers of 5 on a window. Personal preference in the end. I wouldn't do it, though. Do you know of any Canadian film suppliers? They were supposed to call me. There was one that they talked to me about. So, like, some of the, Sun Distributing, they ship to Canada. So everybody that we work with will do Canadian, will ship to Canada and elsewhere, but I know that kind of gets expensive. I forgot what they're called. They said they were going to call me this week or last week. I don't remember. But they were playing around in the stream. They were like an edge dealer or something. Scroll up. I asked a question. You could just ask the question again. Cleans the seals like that, and I always wondered if he's packing 2 different... Oh, somebody cleans the seals the same way, or cleans the seals with his knife, and I always wondered if he was packing 2 Olfas. He might. He might not be. It'll dull out your knife some. You could still cut with it, but it just definitely dulls it out some. I never liked cleaning out the seals with a knife very well, because it's like you put a twist on the blade to get it to kind of scrape in that seal. So it'll do a decent job, but it's not super thorough. But I mean, if you're not removing glue, it'll be good enough, I guess. Just use like a gator blade. Those work really well too. Where did you go to tint school? At an actual tint shop. It was just my job. So my dad, like, I wouldn't have gotten into tinting any other way, though. So my dad owned an auto accessories company. Still owns a tint shop slash small accessories company. But I was working there during high school, especially in the summertime, as like a car detailer, and then I started to learn electronics. And then we had a really good window tinter, and then he quit over the weekend and left him in a pinch. So his business partner's son knew how to tint. So they had him come over to one of those stores, and he would get paid on per tint job and stuff like that. And I also had like a commission on teaching me, or just like a flat rate to help teach me. So it was this long process where it was like I still got paid to be there. So I probably had it better than a lot of people. But I don't think I would have got into it any other way. That's not to say that you can't get into it any other way. It's just tinting was not on my radar of things that I wanted to do. I just kept doing it. So this streaming YouTube stuff, that's like one of the main reasons that I kept with it. It makes good money, and it's also fun. It does get tedious, but when I can have fun with stream and literally do this kind of shit, like, come on now. I'm not going to be able to do that in any other job. Shouldn't be able to do that while tinting. I got a whole board here now. I mean, look at this. I can be so dumb. Here, I'll show you. I got this whole little DJ board here. It's cheap. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look, I could be like full-on DJ. This is a DMX control board. It was like $100 though. So every time this button turns off, oh, I broke it, I think. Oh yeah, then those things go off. Canon. It's just fun. Did you find it hard to get customers when non-mobile? I think it's harder to get customers when you're mobile. So you go to them, but it impacts your search results because you don't have like a home base. So when people, like, just think of how most people find things. They go on their phone, they Google, or they map something, or they have a referral from somebody. So if you don't have a physical location, it's harder to find you. And when I was tinting out my garage, I didn't list my home location as my tint place. Not really. So it was, I think when they found me too, they could see that it was a house. And then that weeded out a lot of people too. So having a physical location has been by far the best for getting just cold phone calls. Now, out of those phone calls, there's tons of people that just like, they're price shopping. So until you build up a client base, it's challenging. It takes a long time. Long time. I'm far better off this year than I was last year when I started. So what I've seen is like when you're on your like third year, that's really when you're gonna get a lot more steady business. You still always will have surges and slowdowns, but like when you're really cranking along and you get known after like I'd say like 3 years being in an area and treating customers right and pulling in a fair amount of work, as that gets cranking, that's when you get a lot more consistent business. We really appreciate all the extra work. Don't have to make the stream more fun. Oh, you don't have to make the stream more fun and engaging? I appreciate it. But this is like, it's part fun hobby for me too. So it's just kind of like, how could we make the super chats more fun? How could we make like this all just more interesting to watch or just fun? So then my mind gets going with doing this kind of stuff. I'm surprised that it ended up working, but it does. Any trick for tint mobile? Trying to tint my own car, no garage, just an outlet for power. If you're tinting outside, that's really difficult. Pull it against a wall if you can, because you gotta worry about the wind because it's always blowing your tint off of a vehicle. So find somewhere where you can tint indoors, or get it out of the wind and the sunlight. So if you could do like a pop-up tent, that'll help. But again, the wind, on a windy day especially, it'll with sidewalls, it'll start blowing that stuff around, so you need like floor anchors and stuff. Can I order your tint stuff in the Ukraine? Yeah, I should be able to. We do international shipping too. It's not the cheapest, but we're not a very big store either. Also, if you're interested, there's a few companies that help support the channel. So Sun Distributing, let me get their link. Their link's going to be in the description too. But sundistributingdirect.com, they have more friendly international shipping. Tint Depot does it too as well, but theirs is a little bit more annoying because you have to contact them about like international shipping and stuff. I think Sun Distributing just added something to their site that made it a lot more user-friendly for international people. How can I minimize contamination in a carport/tent? The biggest thing is wind. So if you have cross breezes, stop them. That's where sidewalls really come in handy. But like me tinting in a garage, I don't have any overhead fans going. Just the biggest thing is keeping airflow down to a minimum. But there's a lot of good work that you can do. Most of the time, dirt comes down to like your installation. So tucking in the sides, tucking in the bottom, you're crinkling the film as you're installing it, that type of stuff. That'll all pull in dirt and trash. So if you have a really even speckling of dirt through like the top portion of your film, that usually is from just airborne stuff. So if you ever tinted a window and it looks like a really even night sky or something like that, like a little starry night sky, just speckle, 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 speckle. The patches are really more for like crappy insulation, but just general specklies through the whole thing could be just your general environment. Is exactly what I get. Yeah, that would be more environment. You have to figure out how to cut down a cross breeze. You could try and peel the tint with the door closed. But yeah, if you're just standing around and you see lots of little floaties in the air, that's gonna start getting in your tent. Write down Joy non-ultra. You know, somebody sent me Joy, the Joy Ultra, because we didn't know. He didn't know either. He was just like, everybody kept saying Joy. Joy works amazing. And then, like, I tried the Joy Ultra, and then it wasn't amazing. So nobody brought up the Ultra, but thank you for that. I'll have to order it. I gotta order it online. We don't have it locally. At least not that I've been able to find. We don't have Joy in Michigan. Joy non Ultra. Because if I could do that and just not mix baby shampoo and Dawn all the time, that would be cool. Have you ever used ProTech? No, I haven't heard of them. Gets a little hot in there, but I try. I worked in plenty of steamy hot garages, man. That especially sucks in the summertime. We get plenty of humidity here, and when you go into a shop that you have to close all the garage doors, or at least most of them, and turn off all the ceiling fans, boy, they sure love you. But you got to do what you can to keep the airflow down. So you just kind of get used to it. But on those 95-degree humid days, outside, inside, it's way worse. And I know some of you guys have it way worse in other states, too. All right. Well, really? Where'd all my windows go? Did I close it? I might have even closed it. Go live. Should bring this window up. How do I get back to a streaming window when I've closed it? Oh, there it is. Oh, well, that's nice. Thank you, YouTube, for making that convenient. Alrighty. Well, I think we have pretty much come to the end of the stream. So let me pull up the list of super chatters. We had a whole bunch today, especially early on. I'm glad you guys liked the fog machine. Activity feed. You should try Protex 1% film. I would have said no, but then you said 1%. And it's still probably no, but I don't know. Carrying a 1% film for those, like, I'd almost just do it for a video. When heating up the film, if it bunches up or curls up at the bottom, is that from overheating? Yep, that's exactly what that is. When you get to the very bottom, go lighter on, like, you still want to cook that film a little bit, but there's a point where that film will start to fry right at the end and curl on you. And some will do it worse than other films. So every film's going to seal down a little bit differently. Some of them didn't seal down very well at all, and they just kind of bunched up. That's why I like Geo. They're really good. Lumar was a great shrinking film, too. I actually would just exact cut my whole back window, shrink the whole thing, and then that was it. I would never do it differently from that. And that went really well. That was ATC, though. Can you make a video for the channel with a scrap piece of film and show what it looks like? Overheating the film? Well, I don't think we'll do it in a separate video. But all right, for you, I'm not going to do it on the BMW. BMW is all nice. I don't want to put any extra heat on it. But 2 seconds before we end the stream. That's a good question. Are there any 0%, 70% clear nano ceramics? I have a 70%. So the higher the number, the lighter the film. There absolutely are. That's one of the greatest things about nano ceramics and nano carbons. Ceramic especially. Ceramic is actually usually a really light material. So they make it in really light shades, and you get amazing heat rejection even with a light shade. It's usually the same, if not better. Okay, so I don't remember which way this is oriented. Let me see if I can find out. No, it's not. Okay, so if I'm shrinking the wrong way, this is what it looks like here. You see how it's just creating these little spikes here? Like, so if I'm trying to shrink the film, and look, I'm putting heat, I don't get it. It's just not going down. It's all like peaking together. That's the film is the other way. So I need to do it this way. So like there, now it's all smooth. Okay, good. So if I'm shrinking a back window and I just fry this edge like that, that's too much. Now it's all like it's not laying down. It's all so much tension in here. It's kind of what it'll look like. So I haven't shrunk very much here. And the more you do, you get that little curl in there, and then it starts to burn, and it looks all kinds of ripply right in here. Like really, really fine together. It starts looking gross. So you just want it enough so when you lay it down, it'll look smooth, but that's what it starts looking like when you start shrinking it and it looks gross. Thanks, I appreciate the information. Was looking everywhere for an answer. Oh, you're welcome. You found the right place at the right time. Yeah, we actually, there's a few live streams on the channel too. 70, we've done, like we did a full escape with 70 on the front, 2 doors, and the windshield. And then we did a Prius with 70 on the windshield, and I did a couple more with 70 on the windshield recently. A lot more people are asking for it. It's really a great option. So if you don't want that dark look, which totally understand, it's on a windshield. Sometimes but you want that same heat rejection, that's what it's for. All right, you are very welcome for that. Also, for the shrinking thing. You hung out with me while we were trying to figure out the fog machine, so help you out with that one a little bit too. All right, so let's shout out some super chats here. Big shout out to Bryce, who is the client of that car, which is just super cool. And Daniel Tapia, and then Daniel Reyna. Daniel Reyna did far more. Daniel Reyna, Daniel. Alan, who brought in the Acura for the chameleon windshield and like full ceramic. He was back here. Dude, this is so cool. T-Town Tints, Mike D, and Jose. And then I super chatted some too, but that was off stream. And then, who was it? Yeah, Jose did a bunch yesterday when we were trying to figure out everything that. Oh, no. Jorge did a bunch yesterday when we were trying to figure that out. So big shout out to him again for trying to help with the fog machines. When's the next stream? I don't want to be late for that. I don't want to be late for class. I think we're going to have another one tomorrow, Saturday, at roughly 10 o'clock. Let me see what it is. Hopefully it's listed what it is. I don't know what it is. Okay, we got something 10 o'clock tomorrow. Oh, I think I do know. We have a full vehicle tomorrow at 10. I think it's a truck. At least we should. I'm going to follow up and make sure that we have that coming in tomorrow. I believe it's special for somebody, like a birthday thingy. Okay, so thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for all the support. Glad you guys had fun today, and I will see you tomorrow probably. Tomorrow around 10 o'clock. Have a good one. Later.